Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Supportive Advice. Thank you so much for tuning in. I so much appreciate you, whether you're tuning in on YouTube or Facebook, on TikTok, call in. We definitely appreciate you coming back and listening. And even if you're one of those people who always misses live, but you managed to catch the replay on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify, we thank you for that as well. Please continue to share the podcast, share our TikToks, share our YouTube, share our Facebook. Um, that's what helps us grow. So thank you so much for that. It looks like that we have some people streaming on Facebook. We're definitely taking comments. We're taking callers. Definitely feel free to reach out to us on call-in as well. And the website for that will pop up very soon. But in the meantime, in between time, it is bit.ly slash all caps supportive advice live. So that is how you get to call in. That is how you get to call in. So I really haven't um, chosen a topic, and it's not because of lack of topic. It is because there is so many things that are actually going on in the world right now that are of interest. I'm sure most of you have heard, and anybody who is a fan of my TikTok channel at Aquila Weekly LMFT on again on TikTok knows that I have been making a number of posts as it relates to the Supreme Court affirmative action um, decision. And I have also made a couple of posts as it relates to um, Alexee. And anyone who has been looking at the news or has been looking at TikTok knows who Alexee is, right? This is the 19-year-old woman, I guess, if you will, that hid her pregnancy, right? And delivered in a hospital bathroom. Um, Killed the baby. How we're unaware, right? And then hid the baby in the garbage can, of the bathroom. And it definitely has risen some talks about, you know, the Supreme Court's overturn of Roe versus Wade, and what that is going to look like or can look like, because this is not going to be the only one. It's not. It's not. I am a firm believer of choice. I think that as a therapist, that's what makes me a great therapist, is that I am a firm believer of choice. I'm a firm believer of one's ability to make a decision, and that decision should not be dictated to that individual, especially decisions of a personal matter. So I don't know, you know, I give a second chance to Cupid. Hey Randy, how you doing? How are you? It's good to see you. Um, I'm doing a podcast right now, Randy, so I can't rap right this second, but I am talking about two different topics, which is Supreme Court overturn of Roe versus Wade, right? And also the most recent ruling as it relates to affirmative action. And so, if you have any comments on that, Randy, I would be more than happy to talk to you about that. With that being said, let me get some callers. Let me get some comments. Um, I know that a lot is going on. I did make a couple comical videos on my website. Well, thank you, Randy. I appreciate you. Hey, Stitches, how you doing? Hey, everybody that's joining, I appreciate you. I appreciate you very much. Make sure that you are sharing the page. Make sure you're getting those likes up. I really appreciate that. Continue to get those likes up. We like that. Share the page. Um, and we are trying to have a serious topic right now, again, as it relates to just the current events of the world and how it is affecting us emotionally, how it's affecting us mentally, you know, because we are affected by these things, whether we believe it or not, whether or not we understand how it affects us. It affects us. It affects us. And so, hey, okay, all right, all right, all right. We got Mo. Mo is in the building. Hey, Mo. So I am actually going to invite you to be a speaker, just so that you can kind of just give your point of view and things of that nature as other people call in. So I'm going to invite Mo to speak. So thank you, Mo. Okay, so I invited you to speak. So once you accept that invite, we'll be good. I heard you were talking about that girl. Yes, yes, yes. Oops. Yes, I was talking about the girl that put the baby in the trash. Yeah, her name is Alexee, and her trial is in October of 2023. At this point, she has been arrested, and this is a very serious topic. This has been um, all over the news. This has been all over TikTok, all over YouTube. Everybody giving their opinions as it relates to whether or not her mother knew, whether or not the boyfriend knew. Which, interestingly enough, and no shade to any males or anything like that, but her boyfriend is not being held accountable in any way, as it relates to him, you know, knowing about the pregnancy, telling anybody about the pregnancy, taking actions to actually help Alexee, before any of the other things were done. There was talk that she was with him, that she was complaining of pain for 24 hours straight in her back and in her belly, and 24 hours straight, no one did anything. I don't understand that. Help me understand. Yes, yes, Randy. It doesn't. Make it make sense. So you're her boyfriend, and you don't realize she gained 30 pounds. You don't realize that at all. They showed videos of her cheerleading or whatnot. Mo, are you there? Um, she was cheerleading with a full size pregnant belly. And so nobody knew, right? Everybody's asking, well, mom, how didn't you know? Now, I'm a mom. I pay great attention to my kids, but my kids are crafty. They're pretty crafty, and I don't have only young children. I have a 19-year-old. I have a 19-year-old. I have a 13-year-old and a 7-year-old. And so one thing that I do know is how crafty a teenager can be. But for 9 months, I don't know. Was he there at the same place when she did that? He was at the hospital. He was in the waiting room. So he wasn't back there with her when she actually gave birth to the baby in the bathroom. He was not there with her when she, and again, I guess, what is it, allegedly, murdered the infant. He was not there for that. And I'm not saying that he should have necessarily or should be necessarily held accountable for that part. But at what point do you have a duty to tell, to say something, to go to your mother, to go to, her mother, to go to somebody and say, okay, like, this chick is not trying to deal with the fact that we're pregnant, or she's pregnant, or whatever the case. Is there any type of concern? Well, and Mo said, my cousin here, her pregnancy, she was slim. Your cousin might have been slim. This girl right here, she was not. She looked very pregnant, very much pregnant. Oh, yes, exactly. Exactly, Randy. And everybody else, feel free to comment too. Make sure you get those likes up. We only have 35 likes right now. We really want to get these likes up. And also share. This is a conversation that needs to be had. This is a conversation that we all need to be a part of. Whether you are pro life or pro choice, this is a conversation that affects you. So join it, be a part of it. We're talking about Alexee right now, and everybody, again, who has watched the news, or watched TikTok, or I don't know, came out from under a rock anytime soon, knows exactly who Lexi is. How is this contributing to? How are these things contributing to our mental health? So, people are wondering what was going on with her mental health. Thank you so much, Ronnie, for sharing the live. I encourage more people to share. Keep sharing and keep liking. Please keep liking. Um, so with that being said, people are talking about her mental health, wondering what's going on with her, how she was able to again allegedly murder this infant, right? And then 3 months later went to prom. She went to prom. She went to prom. Okay, with the boyfriend. Her and boyfriend was hand in hand in the photos, smiling at prom. There is a emotional and mental disconnect happening there. There is some cognitive dissonance happening there. There is some serious denial happening there. And I can't speak on behalf of the mother. I can't. For all we know, the lawyers told her, hey, let her do the normal thing so she doesn't, look guilty. It'll help her, our case, whatever the case may be. I don't know. I'm speculating. Hey, yeah. I'm speculating, because that part we don't know. We do know that when they were in the hospital room, she had stated, hey, Mo, where you going? Where you go? She stated at one point that the baby was not crying when she had the infant, that it wasn't crying. It came out already dead. That was her initial story. I mean, outside of the fact that she said, outside of the fact that first she said she wasn't pregnant at all. Now that happened a billion times. I'm not pregnant. No, the test is wrong. I'm not pregnant. Whatever. That went on for a good little while, even though the pregnancy test that they gave her at the hospital clearly said that she was pregnant. And so then after she had the infant and put the infant in the trash, she comes back, says she started her menstrual cycle, right? Because that, I mean, it gets serious, around that time of the month. But goodness, it doesn't. If you listen to them describe that bathroom, it ain't never got that serious. But she could have been scared. Oh, absolutely, Randy. Absolutely, absolutely. She could have been scared. She probably was scared. I got pregnant with my daughter, and I had my daughter at 19 years old. I was scared too. I wasn't go hide her in a trash scared, apparently. But there are things that we don't do. And at 19 years old, there is a certain level of discernment that we can expect someone to have. And now we were having this conversation. Last week about what is something that you can or cannot expect from a 19-year-old, and that could be a rough conversation. Mo, are you here? Let me see. That could be a rough conversation, right? But she didn't choose the right to use. Yeah, right. You know, murder is definitely seen socially, in which I agree, as a wrong decision. It definitely is, and I'm not, you know, I had made a post, and I know that I'm probably going to get a lot of slack for this at some point, which is absolutely fine by me. But I made a post about pro-choice, right? And the fact that this could have been an abortion. This could have been an abortion before the baby ever had a heartbeat. This could have been an abortion. But then there is an argument that it also could have been an adoption. Very true. Very true. Either way. But at the end of the day, now she's facing murder charges. She's facing murder charges. What is going on, with these slash, I guess, young adults? I don't get it. There is a level of responsibility that we have. If you are pregnant and you bring a child into this world, there is a level of responsibility that comes along with that. And so I'm not understanding. Can everybody hear me? I'm not sure if everybody can hear me. If you can hear me, put it in the comments. It says, but what I saw on TikTok is people on comments are making jokes about this stuff, and it's messed up. You are right. You are absolutely right. You are absolutely right, Randy. It's messed up. It's not nothing to joke about. It's absolutely not anything to joke about, because the rights that we had, things that we thought would be solidified throughout our entire lives, at least my entire life, right, have been taken away. And we think all of a sudden that's going to make people make better decisions. We think all of a sudden that's going to make somebody be more responsible. Wait. Do you think it's going to make people choose abstinence? Is that the thought? Because it's not. It's not. But what it is going to do is cause make crisis decisions, which is exactly what this individual did. But again, to have done that, Mo, are you still on? Let me see. I'm going to invite you to speak again. And Professor, if you want to speak too, please feel free to do the call in. The queue is open. Hey Mojo, again. I see you're on Facebook too now. Thank you for anybody that's watching on YouTube, anybody that's watching on Facebook. So it says, don't get me wrong, this is Randy. Don't get me wrong, she did do something very wrong. Yeah. And was the sex? Oh, okay. Somebody said that they can't hear. I'm going to restart this here. Hopefully, I don't know what's going on here. There's always something. But was having sex wrong? I say no. She was of age. She made a choice. She was with her boyfriend for 2 years. I say no. That's my opinion. It's an opinion. Getting pregnant. Sure, that wasn't on purpose. That part there. Pretty sure that part wasn't on purpose, right? But the hiding the baby, pretending that you're not pregnant, making a decision not to get any type of prenatal care, swearing up and down that you're not pregnant, even can you hear now on call in? Even after the pregnancy test comes back, still not pregnant. I mean, at some point, there were different choices that definitely could have been made here. There were different choices that could have been made here, all across the board. And we have to really, kind of question, I'm inviting you to speak again, Mo. We have to begin to question her mental health and her mental capacity, because the fact that she was more afraid of her mother, that she was sexually active, than she was of the consequences of allegedly murdering a baby. Something's off. And I don't even think that I finished this statement. But in the wait, I see okay, Monicia, I invited you to speak, so go ahead. Make sure you it says that you're muted. So it says whatever your opinion about a punishment will be short-term jail and sterilization. You know, Charles, this whole situation is sad. Monicia, you there? I don't know what's going on with Monicia. I can't hear. But I think at this point, it is beyond ridiculous. Thank you. Everybody keep those likes up. We're up to 780 likes. Thank you for everybody that is liking. Yes, it is. It is very messed up. But again, she's more worried. She's in the hospital, and again, we're talking about Alexee here. She's in the hospital arguing back and forth with her mom about whether or not she's sexually active. I think we're past that. No? I think we're past that. And this is what happens when we put so much of our intensity and focus on abstinence, instead of making sure that this teenager was prepared, that she was on proper birth control, that she felt safe and comfortable talking about the fact that she was ready to make that decision with her significant other. Like, she's more worried about her mother thinking that she's a virgin than the fact that she, like, legit just make it make sense, people. Make this make sense. Because so far, with all the YouTube videos that I've seen, all the TikToks that I've seen,
Hey, Aquila.
with all of that, none of it any sense. Monicia, you got your phone together? What's going on?
For her behaviors, but several people dropped her.
And so here's the thing. Here's the thing. One thing that I have found, and everybody keep getting those likes up. We're at 1.1k likes. Let's get these likes up. Let's keep sharing this. Keep sharing it. Hey Carmen, keep sharing it. We're talking about Alexee. If that's a topic that you're interested in, please make sure that you comment, like. Let's get those likes up. Share this. This is a conversation that everybody needs to be having right about now. This is a conversation that everyone needs to be having right about now. So, yes, there was something off. And one thing that I've noticed, and I don't know everyone from, this, this generation. I know a select few, so I'm not going to generalize. But the individuals that I have met, a lot of them, for some reason, are just not emotionally mature. And I think that comes a lot from being overly sheltered. I really do. I think that is comes a lot from being overly sheltered. Robbing them of the ability to actually learn how to deal with life, deal with disappointment. And so then they're faced with a crisis, and they don't know what to do. They don't know what to do. They don't know how to make decisions. They don't understand real consequence. I mean, we really have done these individuals, growing up now, going into adulthood now, we've really done them a disservice as parents. And when
I
I say
agree.
we, I mean we. I'm talking about me too. I again, as I said before, I feel like some parents are lacking. Yeah, Randy, 100%, 100%. There are some parents lacking, but there's also parents overdoing everything. They are over sheltering. They are overshooting. They're trying to make sure that again their child doesn't go through anything. And unfortunately, it's the things that we go through that make us strong. If we didn't go through those disappointments, if we didn't go through that pain, if we didn't go through understanding that there were serious consequences that we couldn't just jiggle our way and wiggle our way out of, we wouldn't be the strong people that we are now. And depriving them of that because we don't want to see them in pain, and we don't want to see them cry, and we don't want to see them hurt, and depriving them of that, we have stunted their growth emotionally. And you're seeing a lot of that right now. And in this case, you're seeing that. To be able to go and have a baby in a bathroom, completely disconnect from the birth, completely disconnect from the fact that she gave birth, come out of the restroom. They said she gnawed, and again, this is speculation, but one of the nurses said she gnawed the umbilical cord apart from the placenta. She gnawed it with her teeth. So I mean, this gets serious. This gets serious because where is your mental capacity to where you are? I don't know. I want to say shock. I mean, at that point, I really want to say shock because you have this baby. I think that a part of her really thought that she had to go to the bathroom because she did say on her way to the restroom that she had to go to the bathroom. And that is a sensation that you can sometimes mix up. It is true. Um, and they did say that there is, and I know this is graphic, so I definitely apologize. For those who may not want to hear this type of thing, but they did say that there was feces, on the ground, all over the walls, as well as you can't hear again. Huh. Well, I don't know. It seems like this internet connection might be off. It is what it is. If you can't hear on call in, just try to connect where you can hear. But at this point, again, there was feces. There was blood everywhere. She had gnawed the umbilical cord. Ah, the umbilical cord. Okay, and then and now she thought about this. This wasn't oh, I didn't think about this at all. This was just a rant. No. Mm-mm. No. She wrapped the baby up in a garbage bag. Yes. And then she knew that people would look in the garbage because she's thinking this whole situation through, you know. And so then she puts the baby. How do you think those things think about what you're doing at the time? How can you do? Yeah, exactly. It's called detachment. And we emotionally detach all the time. Um there's another word for it. Hopefully it comes back to my remembrance because there's another word for where you are somewhere but you're disconnected from being there in that moment. And if anybody knows what I'm talking about, definitely feel free to put it in the comments and everything. But if it when it comes to me, I'll let you guys know. But I'm not gonna stay stuck on it. Um, it is the root cause. You are hurt, muffled, but hurt some. Okay. I don't know what is going on here with this microphone, but hopefully everybody can hear, can hear me. If not, I am on YouTube, I am on TikTok, I am on Facebook. Go to a platform where you can hear me. Um At this point though, again, there is a serious level of detachment, and shock, where it's almost, and I'm speculating here, but it's almost like an out of body experience where you're doing it, but you're completely numb to the fact that it's actually happening. It doesn't feel real at all. It doesn't feel real. Um, you have this baby, you know this umbilical cord, you wrap the baby up, in a plastic bag, I guess the garbage bag or whatnot. You put the baby in there. You think to yourself, okay, well shoot, people are gonna see this baby sitting in here. Well, I don't really want that. So she takes another garbage bag and she puts it on top so that it looks like nothing is in there. And she up the feces and the blood because she understands that, obviously people are going to ask some questions, but she was interrupted. Why? Because they said that if she didn't come out right then, they were going to unlock the door and come in. So this wasn't, oh, she didn't think to wipe it up, or why didn't she clean it up. It wasn't that. This is, thank you, disassociation. That's what it is that I'm talking about. Disassociation. Yes, thank you, because that was bothering me. Even though I moved on. Um, Jose, I see you. Right now, thank you so much for joining. I appreciate you. Because how can you go through that? Exactly. So disassociation, and that is when you are literally going through something, but it's more or less like an out of body experience. It's almost like you separate from yourself. Thank you so much, Pasha. I appreciate you. You separate from yourself, and you're doing it, but there is a part of you that has completely separated from the idea that you're even you, or this is even happening, or this is reality, or any of that. And so that is the only thing that I mean, as a licensed therapist, that is the only thing that I can think of, that could have been going on with her, and may be going on with her for quite some time, because she gnawed through the umbilical cord. And then she came out. She goes, back. She says, "Oh, well, everything's okay now. I just started my menstrual cycle." This is what she tells everybody. We're good. I just started my menstrual cycle. And so they go in there and they're like, "Nah, nah, more than that happened." Cause yes, yes, yes. Hey, D, what is it? DYY. Thank you so much for joining. Please keep sharing. I don't know why I'm stuck at 1.1K likes. Please keep sharing. Please keep sharing. Keep liking. Keep joining. This is a conversation that we all need to be having right about now. So they look in there. They're like, okay, more than that has just happened, right? And so they find the baby, obviously, and so they come, and she's like, I'm like looking like she doesn't know what they're talking about for like a brief second, but then she breaks and she says, "I'm sorry, I didn't know what to do. I'm sorry, I didn't know what to do." Is what she says. And then she says the baby wasn't crying. The baby came out with no noise, right? So she's implying that this infant was born deceased, because she's already decided that that would probably get her in less trouble than admitting to the fact that she actually did something. Okay? But as time goes on, into her mother, and she says to her mother, "I have to admit something. He was crying. He was crying." And her mother looks at her and says, "Stop talking. They're probably recording us." Now you could say she should have went to the doctor. Yeah. I don't know why that name is showing up. This is your, oh, it's my cousin. Hey Brenda, how you doing? Thank you for joining. I appreciate you. Make sure you share and make sure that you like, you know. So with that being said, she's thinking through this process. It's not that she's so disconnected that she doesn't do things not to experience consequence. No, no, it's not even that. She is so worried about consequence that she's doing all of these things to cover up her actions. And she's still arguing back and forth about whether or not she's been sexually active. As though that's the big deal at that point. And if that is the big deal, that's scary to me. Because as a mother, I talk to my kids. Way to parent way to parents to teach our children disassociation so they don't have to go through the painstaking problems and headaches that we went through. We want not affected and strong enough to succeed. So I'm gonna have to decipher that comment, Charles. Disassociation is definitely not something that we teach, but is something that happens as a form of protective capacity. When we get to a point where things are going on around us where we cannot cope, um, or like deal with it, what we'll do is we'll disassociate from it, and so it's almost as if it's not happening. It's what our mind does to protect us, because if not, we would probably have a mental breakdown, essentially. So, with that being said, it's one of those situations where it's like an out of body experience. You're kind of in a significant state of shock. Um, it's not that you're not aware of the things that you're doing, but you're emotionally numb from them, and so you're not connected. You're not connected to the things that you're doing, and it's not something that's taught, but it is a protective capacity that we have. It is self preservation that we do, and the only thing that I can say is was what was going on with her at that particular time. Now I cannot say I am unsure 100%. I am unsure. Hey, cousin. Who was that? I feel like some teenagers are more worried about themselves and what might happen to them. 100%. Why am I still stuck at one point when, hey, like and share? Like, get this conversation out. Um, Absolutely. There was definitely a point in which she was more worried about herself, probably worried about her future, apparently worried about prom. Know what that was about, but wanting to, one of the things that I can attest to is that when you become pregnant, at a young age, when it's unplanned, or any time where it's unplanned and it's not something that you had prepared to fit into your life right then, there is a level of, I just want this to be happening. And it doesn't mean that you don't have the kid if you decide to do that, parents and blah blah blah. But there is a part that's like, I just want this not to be happening. I'm going to do some self disclosure, which I don't do a lot of, but I'll do it here because it makes sense, right? When I found out I was pregnant with my daughter, um, there were individuals that were pushing me to have an abortion, you know. There were individuals, and I won't say any names, that actually took me to an abortion clinic. And, I just remember feeling like I don't want to have an abortion, but I don't want to have this baby. I just want this to not have happened. I just want to go back to a time before I was ever pregnant and this just not be something I'm dealing with right now. That's how I felt. And I can only imagine that she felt that same way. I don't want to go through the process of, even though it's not even as readily available to us anymore, thanks for the overturn of Roe versus Wade, right? But I don't want to go through the process of having an adoption. I don't want to go through the process of, having this baby. I don't want to go through the process of abortion. I don't want to go through any of this. I just want this not to be happening. And I know that all of us has, wait, I'm a teenager. Oh, uh-oh. Okay. Okay. What's your name join? Well, that's an interesting username. Keep getting those likes up. Um, that is a hard place to be in, because that is a place where you're in a situation you have not wrapped your mind around it at all. You have not wrapped your mind around it, and you don't want to be in that situation. And even if you've never been pregnant, even if you've never ever been pregnant, right, and you've never gone through what this girl has gone through, I know that we've all been in situations where we were like, okay, I just wish this just didn't happen. I don't want to go through trying to get out of it. I don't want to go through, anything that has to do with it. I don't even want to accept it. I just rather this had never had happened. There was the first part of my pregnancy, I was very disassociated. I just tried to live my life like I wasn't pregnant. And that doesn't mean that I was drinking or doing things that were irresponsible, but I was trying not to think about it. First 3 months, I didn't want to think about it. You know, um, and I think as a 19-year-old, that is a natural reaction. I mean, I can't say that I don't understand why she hid the pregnancy and why she just wanted her life to go on as normal. But I can say that at some point, you have to face the music. The option of it not happening isn't there. You have to make a decision to deal with it. And that's the part that didn't happen. That's the part that allowed her to stay in denial. I think a part of her believed she wasn't pregnant, even though she was at the games, big belly. And then she says, oh, well, the reason why I gained so much weight is because I was on birth control. You are on birth control, but your mother doesn't think you're having intercourse. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Abstinence and the teaching of abstinence is not what is going to keep our children safe. It is arming them with knowledge and support and a safe place to come to and talk. That is what's going to keep our kids safe. Not pretending like sex isn't a thing, or, oh, well, you just need to wait till you're married and never do it and blah, 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 blah. It sounds like abstinence is what was taught in that home, which is why it became so important to her for her mother to think that she was a virgin when she just gave birth to a baby in a bathroom. But she could have been thinking about financial things. Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right, Randy. She could have been thinking about financial things. She very well could have. She could have been thinking about financial things. She could have been thinking about anything. She could have been thinking about SpongeBob for all we know. We don't know what she was thinking about. I'm finding a way through my own experiences to relate, but I'm trying to do it in a way in which I'm not projecting. Because just because I felt a way doesn't mean she felt that way. But I can definitely say that there is some disassociation going on, 150%. It would have to be for you to be able to give birth, gnaw off an umbilical cord, hide the baby in a trash can, walk out, say you started your menstrual cycle, and then go to prom. There's no way. She's sleeping. There is a level of detachment that has to take place. My daughter has safe people she can talk to. This is Mo commenting. My daughter has safe people she can talk to if she does not want to share with me. Have safe people to share with, and that is important, because the boyfriend was saying he didn't know. Now, I don't know if I believe that. Now, is it, if whether I believe it or not, does that make it a fact or not a fact? No, it's my opinion. I don't believe it. I don't believe that your girl that you've been sexually intimate with has gained 30 some odd pounds or more, is walking around full term, barely fit into her cheerleading uniform, and you don't know she's pregnant. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. And there is a responsibility to have said something, boyfriend. There's a responsibility to have told your mother or told her mother or told the authorities or that something was off, something was going on. She's not admitting to that. We know she's pregnant. She's not admitting to, I think something's wrong. We're nervous for her. We're scared. Something. Something. Ain't no way. Ain't no way, Mo. It's not no way. You're not gonna tell me. I mean, you could say it, but I ain't buying it. You can sell it all day long. I'm not buying it. She knew on some level that she was pregnant. Now, whether she disassociated from that or not, and was just like literally going through her life as if she wasn't pregnant because it just was not something that mentally she had the capacity to deal with, which I think was the case, right? At the end of the day, eventually she had a baby. And she didn't say, "Oh, well, I have this baby. Let me alert the nurses. I'm at a hospital." She's at a hospital. She didn't have this baby at the park, at the school, in the locker room. She's at a hospital. At what point do we reach out to the nurses and say, I just gave birth to a baby in here. I just gave birth to a baby in here. I don't want the baby. I'm not ready to have this baby, whatever the case may be, but somebody take this baby. Like, at what point? But no, she was so far in the denial and disassociation that she just didn't want it to be happening. If I kill the baby, then we don't have to ever talk about it. We don't have to talk about it. I don't have to admit to it. I don't have to be accountable. I can still keep pretending that I didn't have sex. My mom will be happy. I'll be good. We'll be cool. No, honey. No. No. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And now in October, she's going to have a trial. I hope you guys tune in. I hope you guys tune in. This is not the last that you're going to see of this or hear of this. And she is not going to be the only one. She's not. And as harsh as that sounds, it's true. People are going to make the choices that they're going to make, whether you give them legal right to do it or not. If someone doesn't want to have a baby, they're going to find a way not to have one. You're not changing anyone's minds by taking away their rights. You're just taking away a safe avenue for them to walk through their choices. With this particular woman, because when I was 19, I felt like I was the first one running around telling everybody I was grown. Didn't know what I was doing, but I told everybody I was grown. So, with all due respect, this woman who was still in high school at 19, for what reason I don't know, um, she went to prom, she graduated, and now she is in jail for murder. So whether she was thinking about Randy financial things, whether she was thinking about prom, whether she was just so far deep in denial that she just didn't want it to be happening. And trust and believe, I know what that feels like. Um, It was happening. And it takes me back to the point that I was making before when I said we did our children a disservice by trying to protect them from life. And when I say we, I mean we. I'm including myself. We did our children a disservice trying to protect them from life. They don't know how to deal with nothing. Emotionally, they don't know how to rash. They don't know how to deal with things, experience things. When you go from not having to experience anything and mom taking care of everything for you to all of a sudden being in a bathroom on the floor with an infant, that's a big jump. And emotionally, she was not able. She was not able to deal with that. I mean, obviously, I don't have to speculate that. We see that. We see that. You know, when they overturned Roe versus Wade, I looked at my daughter, my 19-year-old, and I said to her, "We're about to see a lot of cases of women throwing their babies away." I said they just opened up the door for another type of murder, the real kind. Everybody who has joined, I thank you so much. Again, everybody who joined on YouTube, everybody who joined on Facebook, everybody who joined on TikTok and YouTube and call in and everyone. Samantha, I just want you to know that I see you. And I see that you came back from last time. I appreciate you. You keep coming back. You subscribe. And whenever you feel comfortable, Samantha, you speak up because we care about what you have to say too. But I appreciate you listening. I saw you last week. I see you this week. And I appreciate that you keep coming back. So keep listening. Share, share our podcast, and get more people listening. Oh, thank you so much. She says she loves the show. Thank you, Samantha. I really appreciate you. Um, we will keep coming back. I hope that you all do too. If you have not looked up this girl as of yet, her name is Alexee. She is I just got to pull this up real quick. Her name is Alexee Trevizo. Alexee Trevizo. Look up the case. Look up the case. There is body cam footage from the police talking to the doctors, talking to the nurses, talking to her, talking to the boyfriend, talking to the mother. There's body cam footage uncut on YouTube, TikTok. I have some on my TikTok, uh, Aquila Wheatley LMFT. I have some on my YouTube as well. Same Aquila Wheatley LMFT. And look up the case. Look it up. They have photos of her pregnant. They have video of her walking to the bathroom about to give birth to this baby. You know, and it's out there. It's out there. And I'm telling you, this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning. There is voting coming up in August. I hope that you guys vote. I 100% hope that you guys vote. Put your money where your mouth is. So what advice about parents talking to their boys and girls? Well, here's the advice that I have. So do I. Oh, Ronnie says so do I. Um, so here's some advice. Okay, and this is advice coming from a therapist that talks to a lot of teenagers. I don't see kids, but there are times where I'll take a 17-year-old young adult, 18, 19-year old, and one of the things is that there is this thought process that they are supposed to be something specific, and if they fall out of line of whatever that perception is that their parents have painted as right, they feel as though they are a disappointment, right? So there's that. They also feel as though, and this is just based on teenagers that I've talked to. This is not every teenager. I don't know every teenager. It's not a generalization, but this is based off of the teenagers that I do have a chance to talk to. They feel misunderstood. They're at a point of differentiation, right? Where they're looking at their parents, they're making judgments, they're realizing that their parents are people, and that they're people whose decisions that they don't really too much like. It gets to a point where um you have to stop talking at your kid and start talking to your kid. And I think that's the part that for some reason there's a disconnect there. Understand that they're human. Understand that they have hormones and that they want to have the same experiences that you had. They're not above it. You don't raise that out of your child. It's human nature. Give your children a safe place to come and talk. Not a place of judgment, not a place where they have to be somebody for you. Understand that they are human and that they just need a safe avenue. Be open about it. Talk to them. Bring it up first. Hey, look, I know you're around this age. Hey, Jaya, I know you're around this age. I know this is the age where things start bubbling over. Now you might not want to talk to me about it right now, but I want you to know that I'm here. And you're not going to get in trouble. It's not one of those things. Okay? Just be here. Be present. And my oldest daughter, we have transparent moments where she'll come to me and she'll say, "Mom, I need to be transparent, and I just need you to hear me." And it is one of those moments where it's a no consequence type moment. It is, tell me what happened. I'm not here to judge. I'm just here to listen. I am your sounding board. I am your safe space. And she tells me things. And these aren't things that I bring up and throw in her face 2, 3, 4 days later, a week later, a month later. If she ever talk about them, but she knows that she can come to me. She knows that I will get her the things that she needs. Who's calling me? Sorry about that, guys. Um, she knows that I will get her the things that she needs. And so I think that is the best avenue. That's the best advice that I have is to be open. Don't come judgmental. Don't come with a script. Don't come with a character that you've designed that they're supposed to be. Just be open and willing to listen. Everything is not about parental consequence. Your children are turning into adults and they are going to experience consequence out in the world every day. And that doesn't mean that you shouldn't have consequences for your kids, but not for living life. They shouldn't be scared to get in trouble for being human, for thinking somebody's attractive, for wanting to have a boyfriend and or a girlfriend, to want to explore their sexuality. These are natural things. They're not crimes. Well, I hope that answers your question. Just be open, be honest, lead with curiosity. Allow them the space to be transparent with you, and keep it off the table afterwards. Now, mind you, this isn't within reason. If my daughter came to me and said, for instance, that she was in the situation that that she had gave birth to a baby and had done something to it, it would, it would be one of those situations where we would have to kind of go beyond that transparency, because now there's another life involved, and now we have to deal with it, you know. But so yes, obviously within reason, but definitely make sure that your kids know, your teenagers know, your young adults know that you are a safe person to talk to. They need that. They need you. Thank you, Lawrence. Oh wow. Okay, so there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people joining. Um, I appreciate everyone who joined. This is typically an hour show, even though I do typically go over, and I thank you guys for your patience in that. I am live every Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I am live here. I am live on Facebook. I am live on YouTube. I am live on the app Call In. I am live on TikTok. If you missed us and you want to catch the replay, I do upload our content to Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, as well, so that you can catch the replay. And so, if you join, thank you. Please keep coming back. Subscribe to our page, subscribe to our channel, subscribe to our room, and call in. Follow us on TikTok. This was a conversation that was not for the faint at heart. And I thank you for everybody who commented, everybody who had an opinion and who was brave enough to share it. um I thank you all. And